In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. The heaven and the earth.
Welcome everybody to a Moschops show and tell production. We've had a little listen to the beat I made on the Pocket Operator, and I'm going to show you a little bit about how it came to be. So I'm going to go way back a little bit because there's another thing I'm linking into this video, and it's the upcoming release of a tape cassette.
Let me break it down, break it down, break it down, break it down, down.
So I'm going to take you through a couple of tapes because tapes were a big part of my musical upbringing. First track I ever made actually recorded to a tape, and I called it Hazza's Hot Hit. I'm still waiting for that Hazza's Hot Hit, but I'm going to keep trying, and I'll give you a little blast of this cassette. So this is my beat. Dreamscape 8 tape pack here is the first tape pack I got, which I bought from my own money from a paper round, and I'll give you a little blast of Dreamscape 8. This cassette is DJs Fallout and Ratty. This music took me way out. So yeah, big influence on my life, the rave music. So that kind of brings us up to the tape that I've got coming out. I'll just give you a little blast of the Lordcore 4 tape. One side is a jam with myself, Somatic and Red Mist after a day out record shopping. Bought some records, made some beats. But the other side is a beat tape project I called Xylochrome Beats. It was all made on an SP404, pretty much looping stuff live and then doing edits of these extended 8-minute jams, and that's kind of how I came up with these beats. So I'll give this a little blast.
Not a very good night to be left alone.
So it's kind of cartoonish at points. I did sample cartoons and VHSs, and I got really into sampling. When I got into hip hop, I started to buy records, and I was very fortunate to have access to a lot of music because my dad was involved in the radio. And one of the CDs he had is this one here, Music of the Sweeney, which is a crime show from the UK. big head in there, shut it. I think that was a catchphrase. This is chock full of samples, and I'm going to just play a little bit of one of the tracks. It's what's sampled on this record. Babu, Ira Science, pay attention. So pay attention. The bonus beat has some bonus beats for me to sample. So that's what I did. I took those drums and I popped them in the PO33. Sample was also used by LP on the Little Johnny from the Hospital instrumental record. This one here, Company Flow. This is the track. So many layers in LP's production, all the distortions. That Sweeney record also was sampled by another big inspiration of mine, a guy called DJ Vadim. So I'm just giving a little shout out to some of my inspirations, Vadim LP. After putting the drums in the PO33 from the Babu and Ira Science record, I wanted to work my way up. So drums, bass, you can have guitars, piano, horns, all these other instrumentations. That's one way to structure your beat making. So after the drums were in there, I was looking for a bass. And so I had this record here, which was just lying around, literally. This guy, Danny Thompson, it's a big double bass there. And I put it on, and this came out the speakers. You got this like tone with the bass swooping. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna sample that. So the next record I put on was on the same label. It was not intentional, it was that way, but this one here with the cover, we've got the Garden of Eden scenario going there, and this is Aliana is the name of the record. Charles Austin and Joe Gallivan, the New Orchestra, and this was the sound that I chose. So I grabbed this record here, which was David Axelrod, a musical comment on the state of the environment. Side A, the first track, it's called The Warning, and it literally is the opening lines of the book of Genesis in the Bible.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. The heaven and the earth. And God said, and let there be light. And there was light.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That's verse 1. Verse 3 says, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. So I believe that God created the universe. I don't think that we're here by accident. I think that God is to the mind as what the sun is to the eye, as Augustine said. I believe in Jesus Christ, the Son of God, who died on the cross for my sin, for your sin, rose again after the third day, something that we remember at Easter. But I hope that we remember him far more than Easter, because he is truly the pivot of history. He is our hope in this life for something greater than what we currently are. And the gospel message is a wonderful message to study, to learn from. And I have a testimony about my coming to Jesus Christ listed in an album I released called Stories Untold, which goes into a little bit more about my conversion to Christianity. So the next record I grabbed was continuing that theme. It's called The Earth, and it's by Anita Kerr, Rod McEwen of the San Sebastian Strings. And the track name is Earthquake. So that was the sample, chopped it in, everything seemed to work, did an arrangement, and boom, there's a beat. It didn't take that long. Sometimes I could be searching for a sample for a few hours. Something that I learned early on, I wasn't always good at it, but was finishing tracks. If you have loads and loads of tracks that are kind of half finished, there may be some really interesting ideas in there, but who's going to hear it if you don't finish it? Finish those tracks, and then you can make albums up, you can put them out on Bandcamp, you can send tracks to your friends, just as a goodwill gesture. Don't build up the musical projects in your mind so much that it takes you 10 years to make a record, which is kind of what happened to me. So I hope to share from my experience things that can be beneficial to you if you're interested in making beats, or if you're just interested in you know, what I'm doing here. That's great too. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who was involved with the Community Scratch Games TV event in 2021, people who put sets together, people who entered the battle, some amazing things there. I was fortunate enough to come up tops on the beat battle. I won with a Pocket Operator track, which is on this YouTube channel. And I just want to give a shout out to a couple of people: Jimmy Penguin, Somatic, Dejaculate, Manipulate, the Scratch Lords, Darcy D, Red Mist, Danny Depot, Naive Ted, Mikey Fingers, Clockwork, Savage, Eric Cubic, and there's so many more. I could be here all day listing all these people. I just want to say a big shout out also to Tops, who did the artwork for the Scratch Fossil 7-inch that you can see behind the deck, and he's also done an awesome stamp which is going to be on the Scratch Lords tape, which is coming up soon. It's the Lordcore tape number 17. It's called Record.Sound.Play. That's a little bit about my history, about who I am, about how beats are made, and I hope that is enjoyable for your eyes and your ears. Hope to see you on the next one. See you later.